Norman with iSaveTractors.com. Welcome to the beginning of a multi-part series on how I take this International Harvester Cub Cadet 149 and transform it into a Tractor Loader Backhoe combination. In this first part, I'm going to give you a quick walk around of the tractor, show you my plans, and tell you how I'm going to do this. These are the plans I'm going to be using to build the front end loader and the backhoe for the tractor. These plans are from PF Engineering. You can get them at loaderplans.com. Here is an overview schematic of the backhoe. As you can see, it's going to mount right to the rear of the tractor right there. And then here is a diagram of the front end loader. And that's going to mount just where the steering column is and tie in with the front of the tractor for support. Here's a quick walk around of this tractor. The front end of this International Harvester Cub Cadet 149 is all made out of cast iron. So it's a nice strong front end. Here's the axle setup. Steering spindles. Now this is a wide frame Cub Cadet tractor, so that means that this frame, as you can see, kind of extends outward so the engine can sit inside the frames rather than on top like on the earlier narrow frame models. This is a Kohler K321 14 horsepower engine. It's missing a carburetor, ignition coil, and a few other things, but we sell those parts, so I have all of those in stock. This is the clutch setup in the front for the PTO. This foot pedal is the brake. This is the control dashboard. This is a hand-controlled hydrostatic lever. Steering wheel, of course. This is the tunnel cover. If we pull this off, you can see this is a Sunstrand hydrostatic transmission. I'm going to say that again in case you didn't hear that. This is a Sunstrand hydrostatic transmission that's driven by a shaft from the engine. And it drives the famous International Harvester differential and axle carrier, this rear end right here. As you can see, it's huge. We're going to pull this plate off later. I'm going to show you the insides of it, perhaps in another video. This tractor has disc brakes. Right in here are disc brakes. There's two disc brakes. There's one on this side as well. This right here is the control lever for the hydrostatic lift, this is the lift bracket right here. This is what would lift a mower deck. A rear hitch, a linkage would come in between this section of the fender, this little space, and lift up your rear lift, or this hole can mount to like a front plow, snowblower, etc. and lift that. This particular engine has a starter generator setup made by Delco. So here are my plans for this tractor. I plan on taking this apart down to the very last bolt and rebuilding this from the ground up. I'm going to inspect the transmission back here. Oftentimes with these International Harvester Cub Cadets is that occasionally the transmission gears inside are broken. And that's because when people move this around on their property after it breaks down, they don't release the hydrostatic transmission pressure, and then all that pressure prevents the gears from turning, and if someone tows it without releasing that pressure, it can break some of the gear teeth in there. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this cover off and inspect the gears, inspect the oil that comes out of it, and then I'm going to pull the engine out. I'm going to completely rebuild this Kohler engine all with iSaveTractor parts. I'm of course going to inspect everything on the frame, give it a repaint. I'm going to pull this fender off. This fender is going to be a little challenging because the fender is held on by some of these slotted screws right here. And they're 40 years old. As you can see, I was able to get one off, but the rest will not budge, even after using all my tricks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these bolts right out, drill them out, and then remove the fender, and I'm going to replace it with a nut and a bolt type setup. I'm also going to discard this. I'm going to discard all of the mower deck linkages because I'm not going to have a mower deck on this. I debated for a while if I was going to keep this hydrostatic lever to control the forward and reverse motion of the tractor and replace it with a pedal, a foot pedal. But I have decided I am going to keep this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this lever, and when I build my front end loader, I'm going to put the control levers for the front end loader right about here, and I'm going to use my left hand to operate both the forward and reverse motion of the tractor as well as the up and down motion of the front end loader. Speaking of front end loader, some of the upgrades I'm going to do to this when I build the front end loader is I'm going to take these the spindles that these wheels are attached to, and I'm going to upgrade them. I'm going to weld a 1-inch spindle on it, and I'm going to beef up the sides of the spindle so they can hold a lot of extra weight. And for the backhoe, when I build the backhoe, I'm going to build a subframe that will mount to the front of the tractor and meet the front end loader, as well as have mounts come from around these axle carriers right here. They're made out of tough cast iron, and they'll be able to hold a lot of weight. I'm also going to make this tractor a dually. So that means 2 sets of rear wheels. So I'm going to have 2 wheels here and 2 wheels on the opposite side. And they're going to be agricultural type tires too. So this tractor is going to be wide and stable. That's the main point. As well as it's going to look awesome too. So there you have it. Those are my plans for this International Harvester Cub Cadet 149. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can know the second I post new videos on this. You're going to love as I transform this ordinary garden tractor into a Tractor Loader Backhoe Duelie. It's going to be awesome.